Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, welcome to the WCFA Masterclasses. I think it's about 24th, 25th of our Masterclasses. World Communications Forum is one of the largest public communications communities in the world. On that stage, we are registered in Davos, Switzerland. We are doing every year the Davos Communication Summit in the mountain of Alps, not far away from Zurich, something like 2 hours by train. So you're mostly welcome in 2026 in April to join us and to see all the leaders of the public communications business. Let me make it very clear. We are not a public relations community. We emphasize on the fact that we would like to put together all the public communications players, media, graphic designers, of course, public relations, marketing experts, media analysis, so of course, public affairs and governmental affairs. So in our community, World Communications Forum, we have a whole variety of the public communications experts from all continents, basically, all over the world. And I warmly advise you, all of you, to become our members. It's a very cheap annual membership fee, but you will have a lot of advantages, including putting all of the members into a speakers bureau, so they could be invited to be speakers in the future events all over the world, and also we will put your companies into the agency tracker database, so any of the potential clients may find your agency in the specific countries. Today, we have Sophie Remond from Switzerland, and I would like warmly to welcome Sophie. She was a very valuable speaker at our World Communication Summit this year in Davos, and first time we met there. And I can assure you that we have a great expert, a great professional today to share her thoughts with us on a topic which is very much close to us, and we take care of this topic every single day, if not hour. How to make our artificial intelligence communications more human, and how to avoid the whole misleading sentences and messages by the AI, which we create every single day. But at the end of the day, sometimes we lose humanity. We lose our touch, we lose our approach, and we lose our control even on the messages we send to the media and we send to the clients of our clients, because all we work for clients, and we would like that their clients have the proper messages. So one more time, Sophie, thank you very much for joining us today. I again will repeat my appeal for all you guys to become members of World Communications Forum, to take part in our activities, to be our guest every single month in the masterclasses which we provide, but also to see you all in Davos. It's not far away, it's not very expensive, and all of us, we have very good time. So, Sophie Reynolds, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Maxime. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. So let me share my screen. Let's see. Okay, is everyone able to see my screen, I guess?
Absolutely.
You'll see the slides. Perfect. So yeah, I'm very happy to see so many PR communication professionals here today interested in this wonderful topic that is AI. So Maxime already introduced me, but to go back a bit to my what I do. So I'm based in Switzerland. I'm coming mainly from the tech startup scene. And in 2023, so not so long ago, I founded my own company, my own consultancy, SRPR, and my clients are mainly AI-based or software as a service companies and startup. So I learned a lot from them on what is AI and how to apply it. And now I use it actually every day because running a solo consultancy takes time, and I really needed to be efficient and streamlined in my processes. So that's why I firsthand started to be interested in AI. And now I'm also helping companies to implement AI workflows in their comms and PR teams. So my goal today with this masterclass is to keep it practical. As Maxime highlighted, it's really important to keep the human in the loop, and you will see that in every step of my thought process. It's something that I still keep in the back of my head, how to keep the human in the loop among these machines. So I will keep it practical, and I would like to go through some important aspect of AI, but mostly give you actionable tools that you can leverage immediately or very soon in your practice. So this is the agenda for my presentation today. It's rather dense, but don't be scared. We will start with foundations. What is AI and how does it work? And move into more hands-on tools, how to train them, how to build agents, how to automate, and how AI is changing the game in PR and communication. And at the end, I will propose your rollout plan if you're interested in implementing more AI tools in your practice. And we'll finish on the risks, because there are risks, obviously, linked to the use of AI in your work. And we will finish with some questions, because I'm sure you will have many. But first thing, I would like to start with a short poll, just for me to understand where the fellow colleagues, the community stands with their use of AI, if you already use it or not. So I invite you just to scan this QR code or type the link, whatever you feel more convenient, and to join the poll that I'm going to open. So I will just share the poll screen for a minute. So here you also have the QR code to join. So yeah, first question is, are you currently using AI tools in your PR work? So we see that most people are, which is good, I guess. I will leave a few more seconds to answer. Okay, yeah, that's good. So we see that most people are already using the tools, so you're familiar with how it works, and that's very promising. So now I will go to the second question, which is, which tools have you tried? Feel free to check all that applies. So ChatGPT, Claude, similar text generation, more image generation, Jasper for automation, or any other, just to see, yeah. Okay. Makes sense that most people are drawn to the text generation, ChatGPT being all the hype, so, and super practical. Great. Now I have a third question, which is, what are you using AI tools for? And here you can just like enter your words. So we see press releases, research, finding data, marketing. Yeah, mostly drafting and brainstorming, which makes a lot of sense. Analyzing. But we see that research and brainstorming are the core here, which is totally linked to also the usage mostly of ChatGPT and generative text. So that makes sense. Amazing. And I have one last question for you is, what would you like to achieve with further integration of AI in your efforts? So here also I'll leave you type your ideas, it would be a word cloud? I know it's a little harder question, but I think it's an interesting one to see what could be the benefits. Yeah, time savings, gain time efficiency. I think everyone is spot on. Good writing, productivity. Yeah, perfect. So we see mostly productivity, time saving. People want to be faster, better, and more streamlined, which I think is the world we are living in today. So that makes perfect sense. That's great. Well, thank you very much for to all of you to giving me your input. That's very helpful, and that I'm very reassured because it goes in the way of where I'm where I'm going with my presentation. So that's great. So okay, let's go back to the presentation. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we will start with the first section of my presentation, which is very pragmatic. What is AI? We aren't going to dig too much deep in the technical aspect, but I believe it's very important to understand what AI is as a concept in order to leverage it the best way. So I would like to add that this presentation will be packed with a lot of content that will really give you the foundation to really understand how AI workflows work, which I believe is very important to be able to construct your system and streamline your processes in communications. So as this first slide states, AI, what we call AI, like commonly, is actually an umbrella term that groups multiple applications of the wide artificial intelligence. What we commonly hear about and that gained traction with the launch of ChatGPT in 2022 is generative AI, of course, which probably you've all experimented with already. But it's only the tip of the iceberg. So generative AI, creating new content, text, images, audio, video, um, the one that's truly is a game changer for us in communication for sure. But other very, very important branches of AI exist and have been around for much longer, the generative AI actually, machine learning, natural language processing, computer vision, recommended systems, and automation. Automation we'll talk about later. And they are like the layer of what powers AI today and that continues to drive innovation in a lot of sectors. So we can find these applications actually applied every day to things we don't even imagine. Spam filters in your inbox, map routing, your LinkedIn algorithm. But for us, pros, obviously, Gen AI matters the most because it produces content and that's why we're interested in, right? But I will also show you how you can leverage other form of AI, mainly automation, to streamline the content that you're creating with generative AI. So first of all, I would like to take a little moment to go through a quick glossary of AI lingo that I will use in this presentation, so that we are all aligned with those terms. So input first, input is what you ask the AI. Output is the response that's generated. Prompt is the structured way you give the input to the AI. Hallucination is sometimes what makes the AI look very, very plausible, but actually it's made up fact, and we will come to that later. I will explain you how it happens, why it happens, and how to avoid it. I will talk a lot about RAG today, which is retrieval augmented generation, which is basically having a working up-to-date knowledge base for your content, and you will see how it's so very important. I will talk about fine-tuning, which is training your models and tailor them for your specific style, content, tone, for you, for your client, for a company to work with. And I will talk about agents, which is the new hype in AI. And therefore, we will switch to automation with agents because that's where they come into play. So As I said, your day is already very much AI assisted. You have a few example here. We have now AI integrated in a lot of things that we use every day. Maybe your Gmail account that helps you drafting your emails, the LinkedIn algorithm, predictions in Salesforce that use predictive analytics, for example. So we can see that now they are everywhere and that you can use them quite easily. But today I want to give you also the tools to design your own workflows, not only use the tools that given into tools that you use, but to design your own workflows and teach you or explain to you a bit how to plug them into your communications with repeatable system to be able to like turn your narrative for like how do you say exactly in the word cloud faster, more efficiently, and to increase visibility. But I would like to discuss first the industry for a second, and to go through why I believe it's so important to get on board now and start using AI in the best way. And why is that? I think we've all seen it happening in the last years with the rise of social media, globalization of news, fast, easy access to information. PR and communication, marketing in a whole, everything is accelerating, it's evolving, and there are a lot of things that we cannot ignore. I think the first signal is speed. Now everyone asks us for quicker response. So if you work with board, with customers, with employees, everyone expects clarity now, not after 25 rounds of approval, that it takes time. We also see a lot of signal overload. So countless channels are used now by any organization, and the volume can be unmanageable without help, without automation. Ops integration as well. PR, comms, marketing no longer lives like independently in organization. It's very commonly part of product, customer service, sales, and the messages now are more important than ever. We have to cut through the noise. We have to be sharp. We have to reflect what actually is making the money at the end of the day. So it has to be also something that's very streamlined. And we see that also within organization. I don't know if it's your case, but with the clients I've been working with, or I see that the importance of the comms lead is rising. Like now we have chief communication officers or chief PR officers in companies, and that show why the role is also getting traction. As I said, AI is infrastructure. AI is applied to everything now. Probably in companies you worked with, or are working directly in, they use AI in different aspects and you don't even know about it. But at some point, I think communication PR pros, they have to plug into. And last point here, hanging over all of the four else, the four other, is the trust deficit. Now we are drawn in content nowadays. People don't want more content. People want more consistent content. People want more timely, reality-based communication. And that's the point that drove me to rethink the whole mindset, because I think this really is a mindset shift that we have to approach in public relations and in communication. And I drafted this, what I called from campaigns to system, because I like to think of my AI-powered workflows like systems. What does it mean? It means to be more agile. It means to respond quicker. It means integrated workflows and data-driven insight. So on the left in this column here, you have what I called the old PR. It's episodic, right? It's a big launch. You have one deck, you have one press release, and then you have silent. You monitor probably manually. You have boilerplates, supporting document that age out, not matching, sometimes between different platforms that the client can have. Metrics, mostly volume. So what I call new PR, thinking into system, is, I think, much more different and much powerful. So it's always on input. It's a messages that adapt as the product and the market move, because they know that it moves very fast. Everything lives in a live knowledge base. That's really interesting. We'll come back to that. So your humans and your agents, human and agents together, can create from the same source of truth. And In that way of working, the KPIs will change too, because now we are expecting more speed to clarity, ratio of messages at site sources, number of updates. It's less about vanity metric, let's say, but more about efficiency. It might be and sound less glamorous, but I assure you it's far more powerful. So to make this very tangible, I will illustrate that with an example. Here is a case at a typical client of mine, a software as a service company that wanted to implement AI workflows in their comms processes to be more efficient, mostly. That can be applied to a number of industries, probably. This is with a SaaS company. So before, that's how they were working. So let's say customer service, here I took customer service as an example because that's how it happened, but customer service sees a pattern and open the tickets to the PR team. The PR team, let's say it's the end of the day, they see that late, they take that into account the next day, they take time to draft a statement, then you have to approve it, right? Engineering or the management want edits on the statement. They have to, 1 round, 2 round, approval scroll. Then when you take the boilerplate, the company documents, you see the differ between websites, the PRs, backup document, whatever. What's the result? The result is that the response is out a bit too late and you have not much impact. After automation, what we created, implementation of AI in the process. Support tickets were auto-summarized early, routed into a private newsroom channel. The knowledge base, the RAG knowledge base, what holding approved fact, positioning, boilerplate. When this issue is automatically sent to the RAG, it drafts a statement. Plus, eventually, if you want a word from the CEO to post on LinkedIn, another statement. In 15, 30 minutes, this is drafted, fact check against the knowledge base by the machine. That's only when the people reviews, because of course people needs to review. So people reviews, tighten the tone, and ships. At the same time, you have the knowledge base automatically feed an FAQ to customer service so that they can update their knowledge and post a LinkedIn post on the CEO profile. That's how our systems work, and that's how you gain so much time in the process. So before putting anything into place, that's what I ask my clients. That's the maturity ladder of using AI in your content, in your workflow. I want you to check this ladder here on the left and try to position yourself where you are right now. You can write it in the chat if you want the number you position yourself for now. I guess more of you will be between 1 and 2. Probably some of you experimented with 3 already, but I guess that both will be around 2. 1 or 2, I mean, 1 is the basis, 2 is good. 3 is really the unlock. Having a shared knowledge base, defined routings with human in the loop to have a systemic operation workflow is really, I think, key. 4 is the cherry on top. Going the extra mile and having agent and measurement is really the extra mile. So these 7 question diagnostic is what I use as a design brief. And I know it can be very, very hard to get there and to answer these 7 questions in a crisp way. I know that given the size or the industry of the company, it can be very hard to implement. And I can tell you for a fact, because I work with a lot of startups, and with startups already the first one is tricky because having signals, where do they live? It's very often word of mouth, the exec shouting in the hallways, and they don't have a very strong signal where to take the noise. So it's already tricky. But that's also how you can streamline your processes, is with starting with this question and see where you stand and how you can put everything into place to start implementing systems workflows in your processes. So feel free to screenshot or take a picture of that slide because I think it's a very good basis. Okay, so now let's go back to the actionable, shall we? What are the tools that you can start using right now to be more efficient in your practice? There are a lot of tools out there, and I know it takes a lot of curiosity and testing to learn which one really work for you and for you are working. I just put here a very few. There are not so many, but these are my personal favorites that I use almost daily and that you can implement quite fast with not much research. So of course we have ChatGPT that probably every one of you has tested and learned how to use for drafting. For custom GPT, it's really important. We'll come back on that later. You have Claude and Perplexity that I use mostly for source or research. Clarity for me is a game changer. It's not really well known. It's actually a plugin that you can install on your browser, and it runs on the tool of your choice, maybe ChatGPT, Claude, or I think their own GPT. That will basically summarize any web research you make in a frame on the side. Helps you gain like hours of research. It's amazing. Synthesia I use mostly for well, videos. It's a video generating model. Gamma here in the middle for turning outlines into polished presentation and documents instantly. Gamma is amazing. And Gumloop I use to automate actually my workflows to connect step into automation. It's very good for media monitoring follow-up actions. So yeah, these are the ones I use almost every day. And to give you a quick example, I use them, not all of them, but some of them to build this presentation I'm giving today, the visual and the text. What I did is obviously I use Clarity because I use Clarity with any research anyway. So it's plugged in my browser. So while doing some research, I use Clarity for sure. Then I wrote down my script. I wrote down all the points I wanted to include today, what I wanted to tell you. And I fed that script into my custom GPT that I have trained for everything AI applied to PR. And I asked it to break down my script into sections and slides. I prompted it to give me description of content from each slide, and I fed the output into Gamma to get this presentation that I had to tweak a little bit, but not so much. Yeah, probably I don't know, I probably gained days of work. And yeah, that was very good. So at the bottom, you also see two directories that I added, AI Tools directory and Futurepedia, which are, well, directories, as I said, they compile the names of pretty much every AI-based tools, generative AI-based tools that exists. So you can browse by area, by what they do, by if you have to pay, they have a free version of not. And yeah, if when I'm looking for something new and I don't know where to go, I go to the directories and I always find something that I need. Okay, so why are these models transforming how we approach PR and communication? Well, I think that now in 2025, it's really strong because they have much longer memory, better reasoning capabilities. I don't know if you all tested ChatGPT 5 since it launched last week, but you can see how much it understands complex prompts now, produce more coherent, relevant output, can also handle multi-step tasks, generating drafts and refine them based on feedback on new information, almost mimic human-like creative processes, which has become very interesting. But now the third point, which is also something that's quite new, is the ability to create, well, custom GPTs is not so new, but agents now, which mean that us, PR pros, we can actually develop our own AI tools tailored for our needs, for our tasks, and basically serving as our assistants. So that's what we're going to dive into the next few slides, how to create, feed, and train these models. and how we need to review them so that us human, we are sure that they work efficiently and accurately. And this is why I call the human model collaboration loop. As Maxime said at the beginning, how to make sure that human is still in the loop. And I truly believe that for now, I don't know, maybe in the future it will change, we will see. But for now, AI is only as good as the human behind that is training it, that it's controlling it, that it's making it basically. So here it's just, yes, this loop showing that human expertise needs to guide AI capabilities for AI to deliver better insight. So now that I explained this, we will see that we have the system, the tools, well, how to use them, how to train them. That's the core, I guess, and why it is important too. So to train your AI model, there are two training strategies. And bear with me here because it will sound very technical, but it's not. The key decision, usually when you train your models, is to know if you need dynamic facts, up-to-date facts, or if you need consistent style. In our job, we will need both. Basically, we need good facts and we need good content. So that's why we need to have both of these two strategies, which is RAG and fine-tuning. So RAG sounds very barbaric, sounds very engineer, but actually it's not so complicated. Basically, what I'm mentioning here is to have an external knowledge base for your content. Maybe if you're an agency, if you're a consultant by client, if you're in-house for your corporate communication, maybe product notes, SOWs, post press releases, boilerplates, whatever, bio of the execs, whatever you need. These need to be classified, needs to be up to date, and needs to be in a separate knowledge base that you have. Probably, maybe you already have something in-house that you don't even know can do that, because a lot of internal platform can already do that. Just a question of classifying them and then indexing them in this space. You don't even need to automate it. Automate it, it's next step, but you can just have it there, up to date. And when the times come to use them, you can just do a quick search, take the chunk you need, and feed it into your ChatGPT. ChatGPT or other generative AI. I use ChatGPT, that's why I will always refer to ChatGPT. To do what? To do the next step, which is fine-tuning, which could be another training step, but for us will be the next step because we need consistency. So fine-tuning is actually teaching the style and structure to your model. So what is your tone, how it needs to speak, how it needs to imitate your style or the company style, so that it actually does it by default without you needing to train him more. So for PR, for communication, my opinion is that we have to have a combined input to be accurate and to be on brand. So RAG for facts and fine-tuning for consistency. In any case, regardless of the chosen approach, you will need to collect branded material to train your models. So be careful to always work with clean material, obviously, not to disclose confidential information from your client or from your company. But basically, and what I put here in this pipeline is very important. And that's why also, again, you need to keep human in the loop, is to always run evaluation sets. Are the facts correct? Is the tone on brief? Are the length constraints met? Every time you train a model, every time you start implementing it, what I suggest is to run an evaluation monthly or each quarter, and as the voice of the company evolve, as your voice evolve, when you need it, do it, because it's very important, so that every time you will use it, it will be on point. So now going deeper into the fine-tuning side, which is super important, is to create your custom GPTs. So I don't know if a lot of you already work with custom GPTs, but they are very important because they let you control what the model knows, how it speaks, and what it can do, basically. So it makes your outputs reliable, brand safe, and With ChatGPT, you can build a custom GPT in minutes by writing instruction, telling them what's the communication style, the role, the tone, the compliance rules. You can add knowledge, so PDF, guidelines, whatever. And the third step, if you want now, is to make it an agent. So add an action so that it can automate to external tools. So basically, your custom GPT are your specialized assistant. You set their knowledge, their tone, and the instruction so that they can answer in a consistent way. Agents go further. They can decide action. They can use your tools. They can change steps together. They can fetch data. They can write a draft, and they can send it to approval. Here are key applications for that you can have, but there are so many more. So now let's go to agent, because I said agent is basically an assistant that does the job for you. And that's very, very practical. And for beginners, people who want something straightforward, you don't need to code because some model already exists. Here I put a few, so custom GPTs, you can make them into agent. You can use Gumloop, which is very, very good, or Zapier and Make also are no-code agent you can use very, very quickly. You also have a low-code agent that exists. I'm just mentioning them so that you know. I won't go into much detail here because it can be an option if you're looking for something super tailored, but you need to have a dev team at hand to help you with those. But I would like to just mention that agents are great and that you can connect them with all the tools that you already have, your email, Notion, whatever. But with agent, we enter into the realm of automation, which means having a machine work for you. We are going to send messages to the external world. So that's something that's very important to keep in mind. It's important to keep in mind that you have to give your agent guardrails so that they operate ethically and securely. And the four, I think, most important guardrail is to define its scope clearly so that it doesn't do anything it's not allowed to do, is to establish escalation protocols in the case it does something that is out of scope. It's to keep an eye on the logs. Most tools do it automatically, so it's not something you have to implement, but it's very important to check the logs for if there is an anomaly or a misuse. And conduct evaluation, as I said, it's always good to actively all the time evaluate your models so that you see that they're still on track. So I was talking about automation, and I know it was a bit technical, but let's see now in practice what it means for PR. How can it help you? Where can it help you for PR? So I'm going to give you a practical example. This is a basic working pattern of how I work now within, like I call it, systems. So an end-to-end automation workflow. Let's say you have a train sentiment dashboard on Gumloop. So Gumloop can spot new media mention and alert you about that. So this is number one. Number two, it will classify it, sentiment analysis. Gumloop, for example, but there are other tools Gumloop I use. It can classify the sentiment around the pickup it says. So is it a positive, a negative, or a neutral article, mention, whatever. It tags the mention accordingly. Number three, it sends an internal notification to your system of choice because you automated it that way. It can be Notion, it can be a Slack, Microsoft Teams message, an email, whatever. Number four, that's only when human intervene. Number four, you haven't clicked a button before that. Number four, you have the notification. So you go to ChatGPT and you ask your custom model to draft a quote or a memo pre-filled with approved content that you extracted from your RAG. Number five, if it's a big one, let's say it's something very, very critical, you can create a video to explain the situation to leadership and for internal alignment. And number six, task creation. So your system also created already a task with a due date to follow up in Jira or Asana or Task or whichever is your preferred model. So just like that, you've compressed hours of work in 2 minutes with control points intact, backed up fact, coherent tone, and that's exactly what I helped companies achieve, and that saves so much time. I also wanted to address another, I think, important and growing role of AI, is that now it's basically working as a new kind of SEO, search engine optimization. So for the anecdote, I realized this was a thing last winter when I had someone contacting me for PR services. They told me they asked ChatGPT for tech specialized PR agency in Switzerland, and my name came out first. So that was the first time I realized that actually AI could do that, and that I was at some point in ChatGPT knowledge base. So I actually did the exercise last night, and here are the results. So on the left, there's a Google search for tech AI PR agency in Switzerland. So first you have the sponsored content, obviously, and then you had some companies. I was not even on the first page. I was not even on the second page. I think I was on the third page of results. So not so good. My website is not very SEO optimized. On the right, I asked, can you advise a good AI and tech PR agency in Switzerland? And my name is first. So I was really surprised, but I think it's really interesting because it shows also how different the results can be. And I think it's important to say that, well, AI is not dethroning Google in search, but it's becoming the other place to be. More and more people are actually now doing search in ChatGPT. So models are becoming credible sources, and credible sources is also, I mean, it's also our job to make and to create linkable reference-based content, right? That you can recommend. So how to get there? I've been thinking about it and I've been working a little bit. And I think you really have to produce content that AI will like, so that AI will want to reproduce it, or AI will want to learn from it. So AI likes some specific kind of content because it's something that was built not mathematically, but by engineers. So it's something very, very pragmatic. So it's really easy to figure out how it works, what is the technology behind, and how to trick it to liking more, such and such content. So first of all, AI likes content created by real human. If it reflects experience, knowledge, if you have authority in the field, that it will spot. Also, it likes to be able to back the statement with sources. So always providing verifiable citation, clear background sources will make the AI trust the content more, and therefore it will be more discoverable. Third point, which is probably the most important, is to have content that's reviewed, revised, and updated. Trends is favored. AI likes things that are updated and changed and are new and fresh. So if it's stale at some point, it will pass in the last priority for AI. So this is important to keep content updated. And also well structured, because AI works with logic structures. So if your content is organized with clear headings, in lists, or very, very strong semantic markups with level of organization in the structure, it will help AI read the context better and extract the information more easily. So of course, you will also be more discoverable, let's say, more easily discoverable. So the idea, I think, is to really leverage on your content once you have published it, once you have used all these AI tools to publish your content. It's out there, but what to do with it? Because it's a shame to have good content just vanish in this interesting air. And I think you can also leverage AI to fortify it. So you can expand ideas into reference articles. You can automate outreach to earn more media mention. You can monitor discussion and use AI to sum up common questions. And with a systemic AI-powered approach, you can transform your initial ideas into a flow of high quality. The point here actually is just to leave a trail, to back up your content. And that trail is what AI will chew on, because he will understand, like, it's been like repeated over and over again, and then we'll use it into its knowledge base, into its model. So it's like, again, look, you use AI to get your content out there, the content out there use AI to repeat it, and then the content out there is used by AI to produce more content. So it's kind of a loop. So after all this information, and I know I threw a lot at you, probably you can see I'm very passionate by the topic, and there are so much to say in so little time. But what do you do with this info? As I said at the beginning, I wanted to propose a very short rollout plan. I'm happy to share with you, and for you that are interested, you can screenshot it. I'm happy to take the conversation out of the presentation today also. This is basically a strategic roadmap to start implementing AI in UPR operations. This is how I think is a better way to implement that. So establish foundation, have an audit of your PR workflows, and identify one high impact AI use case to try on it. Then build your models, build your knowledge base, fine tune your AI model, create your custom GPTs, your agent, and try them on this use case. And then on the third month, you can start automating if you want to go in that direction and start working with that, and measure, establish the metrics. What is the return on investment? My first and only maybe advice here when you go to that is to not boil the ocean. Pick one workflow, pick the one where time is leaking, whatever it is, coverage reports, release drafting, whatever, and build one rec store, fine tune one voice, custom one GPT, whatever, but just do one thing first, do it well, measure the time saved, the accuracy, the output, and build everything step by step. As you saw, if you think in systems, you have to have every step of the way very strong. So start with one thing, make it yours, take the time, and I assure you it will be worth the effort. So at the end, you should get there. This is what I call AI ready PR stack. I think is the minimum viable stack for an AI powered PR team. So the secret sauce is not having only one tool, it's a combination of tools, but it's also the way you govern it. That's also the way you as the human behind you use it and what you make of it. And that's why I think it's so important to build solid foundations step by step, tool by tool system to create a system. So yeah, private knowledge base, fine-tune your model, custom GPTs, automation if you want to go to there, prompt library, eval set, and AI SEO template. I just want to mention prompt library for a second. I haven't touched the topic of prompting today. It's such an important one. So you probably heard of prompting. Prompt is simply the instruction you give to the AI model to tell it what to do. Think of it as briefing, for example. If it's vague, you will get vague results. If it's clear, structured, specific, the output will be much closer to what you need. Good prompting is what makes the difference between getting generic text that has no much value to getting something that actually sounds like you, like your client, that reflects the fact, and that saves you time. We could have spent the entire session just on prompting, but just keep in mind that the quality of your input defines the quality of your output. Now, in the last few minutes, I would just like to address a final but very important point, which are the risks that come with AI application. You need to know the risk, because if you know the risk, you can have safeguards and you can be mindful of what to do if you see problem happening with your models. So here are, I think, the key risks are listed there on the left column. So the first one is hallucination. I mentioned hallucination at the beginning. Hallucination, it means that your AI model are creating false information. And this is not a mystery. It's actually very easy to explain from a technical standpoint. This is because the way generative AI is made is based on predicting the next most likely word in a text. So think of your autocorrect when you type something on your phone, for example. It thinks in the same way, let's say. So it's probably that sometimes it can just predict not the correct next word, and then it just invents a story that it can even back up with sources and then create like a fabricate information. Then you have also brand drift. It can like use not the right tone, data leakage. You have to make sure not to leak data, obviously. Bias is a very strong one. AI is trained on what's out there in the world. The world is very biased. So hence AI can be very biased and give very biased results. Very quick example, if you have played with image generation, probably you have seen that. If you ask for someone doing any kind of work and you just say a person, you will most probably have a man by default. If you ask for a parent with a kid, just a parent, 9 times out of the time it will be a woman. This is because the world is biased this way, and it's the kind of things that with good prompting you can also overcome. And the last, I think, key risk is over automation, loss of critical human oversight and judgment. Let's not forget that as communication pros, we are putting content into the world. Some content you don't want to be automated. Some content you want to have an eye on before it's out, because you should always review everything that goes out before it goes out. So the countermeasure, obviously, keep human in the loop, as I said, mandatory human review before deployment. That's very important. Everything that's external facing must be reviewed by a human. Data minimization. So in a lot of GPTs, in ChatGPTs, you can use temporary chats, you can disable history. If you deal with embargoed content and release info, use that. And also for everything, prefer RAG, so having an external knowledge base so that you can divide it into chunk and find exactly the only part you want to copy paste in your GPT, and don't copy paste entire desks that give the tool too much information that you don't want to give it. Regular evaluation. Keep a small evaluation set, maybe 10, 20 prompts, always the same, that you can try and try again so that you can spot regression in tone and accuracy. Maybe every month or every quarter you can train it, so you can evaluate to see if the responses are still accurate. Crisis protocol also. In crisis time, agents they draft? Actually, should they send? Probably never. What is the escalation tree? And don't forget the legal and compliance review in the process if needed. Sometimes we want to automate and we forget that they have some legal and compliance processes there. And if you want to implement systems in your organization, I would suggest strongly to publish an internal AI policy, what data is allowed, where, and by whom. Also, a lot of big companies, I don't know if it's the case for clients or for companies you work with, they are developing or they already developed their own internal knowledge base with AI integrated, which is very useful because you can have everything in-house and nothing get out of the real world. So, yeah, but these are the risks you have to be mindful of, and the guardrails. So with that, I have reached the end of this masterclass presentation. So thank you all for your interest in this topic that I really believe is changing the industry and that will have a profound impact on every industry, but mostly on communication. And yeah, I will open now the discussion, answer the question you may have in the chat, or if you want to speak up. I also invite you to connect with me on LinkedIn if you want to exchange more about that. And yeah, so thank you for your attention.
So, Sophie, I have only 2 words for you. The first one is merci beaucoup. The second one is chapeau.
Oh, thank you.
And I think that it says everything. Thank you very much. It was quite interesting. And, you know, we never had, my Zoom account has a limit of 100 people. And I receive a couple of times messages during your speech that the limit was exceeded. And then I should upgrade it immediately. So it says a lot that the interest was great. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you have the floor for a couple of questions, Sophie, or remarks. And as you know, all of you, you receive certificates. Please don't forget to share your names on the chat. So our executive director, Jessica, will make a note and will send you the official certificates on the email. So please have a question or questions. No questions. Oh my gosh. Alina, mute.
I
Do you have
see one
any-
question.
Yeah,
Yes.
the RAG. I
Yeah.
wanted to know about the RAG.
Yes.
Is it like, can you have on SharePoint in your internal drive, like all of the pre-approved fact files, like your media fact sheets, and it like then outputs to something? Like, is that what you mean?
So basically the knowledge base can be that at first. What would be ideal, and that's when you go to RAG, is that you have a system. It exists in some internal platforms like probably Confluence and all of these platforms that sometimes companies have. That is a place where you can store content, but index it as well. So it can be very quickly searched through a search bar, but like an advanced search tool. And you could be able to vectorize some part of the content and assign it themes, so that when you're looking for a specific piece of information, you already go to that chunk of specific information. But obviously, having already something, just having all the backed up information, all your content in and do it manually is already very good to have that. But the next step would be to have it in a tool that allows you for proper indexation.
What tool did you just mention? Sorry, you said something internally.
I said Confluence. Confluence is like
Okay.
it's a knowledge platform internal that a lot of startup I know use, for example. But there are others that I can look into it. You can look into it. There are a few. You can find also tools online for RAG.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so
Of
much.
course.
I have a question. Can I go?
Sure.
Hi, this is Juliet. I'm just wondering which AI tools you would recommend for resource mobilization. It tends to go hand in hand with comms and PR.
In what specific application?
Oh, I'm asking just in general. I mean, I'm thinking about a small nonprofit startups. Maybe you want to widen your donor base. So what should you recommend?
But for what kind of output? What would you achieve with that?
Wanting to know the best way to package yourself as an organization to get more funding, because it's, especially in today's world with the current situation in global funding in the development space, and also if it's around a thematic area that tends to be crowded again, like health or education, for example, just to best position yourself, and then also to monitor the trends in the space.
Well, it's a very good question, and I have to say that I'm not at all specialized in nonprofit and those workflow. But I think at the end of the day, the point is to get the word out there and to promote your nonprofit, right? As if it were a brand.
Yes.
Yeah. So which AI tool is best? Probably all of them if you combine in the right way. Again, it depends of what exactly you want at the end, but if it's promotion of your brand, you just have to apply it to work also on the consistency of how you present nonprofit, and use most probably custom GPTs or agent to create some very strong content for you. That would be the easiest.
Okay.
What about Signal AI? I think you mentioned Gumloot or something else for media monitoring, but ChatGPT told me about Signal AI, and it seems to be getting buzzed.
I have used it in the past. I was not a fan of it, but I think I don't think it's a bad one. I think it was just a personal preference, to be fair. But I know that I think a lot of companies actually use it, and it's not a bad one at all.
Because also I'm with Brandwatch for work, so we use Brandwatch. So I don't understand what the difference is. Like, would I be paying something AI that's going to be better? Like I'd have to do a ChatGPT comparison between them and then see if it's worth it.
Signal, Brandwatch, and Gumloop, for example?
Yes.
Yeah. So I haven't worked with Brandwatch and Signal in a long time, so I don't know what they have integrated now in terms of automation. What I like with Gumloop is that it's actually built to build automation workflow. So the point is not even to monitor media. Maybe actually you can do it with Brandwatch and then outsource it to Gumloop, probably.
Right.
Gumloop, the goal is really to take this and build a workflow so that after that you can automate the whole system.
I see. Thank you.
I see a very interesting question in the chat from Emmanuel, who says, context-wise, especially in Africa, how best can we as communication practitioners use AI for our work since most of the generative AIs are Western built? That's such an interesting question. It's a very, very interesting question. It has been raised also, well, with a Western bias, but in Europe, because Europe is in the game, but probably is losing the game to US and China. So also how to overcome the biases here. It's really hard. I think the best way is to use it and feed it your biases, your way of thinking, because it is maybe built in the Western world, but the more it's trained on data, the more it will learn from the data. So if not only the Western will use it and trains it, it will probably work more in the favor of not the Western world. So is there any other questions?
Okay, so if there will be no more questions, really thank you very much for joining Sophie today. It was quite interesting, Sophie, for you, from the bottom of our hearts, from the bottom of our PR hearts. Thank you very much and appreciate your presence today. Don't forget to apply for membership at the World Communications Forum Association. Don't forget to visit our site. And also don't forget to join us in Davos next year, April 23-24. Until then, we will have next month, of course, Jessica, who will present next month at our masterclass. Your microphone.
It should be Jared Maude from the US, who is a co-creator of the PR Ethics. It will be probably the 30th of September, but everything will be uploaded and shared with you online through the email marketing and the website of Davos CFA. So you have all information, but the link will be the same.
Yeah, Jared is a great professional, so mostly welcome next month. Until then, all the best in August. Happy holidays, happy end of the holidays, and God bless you.